Good morning. Marla Copal here, and I was having some interesting moments this week in which I was doing some reviews and working with people in my mastermind that really was fun yesterday. So I do have a sales mastermind on Thursdays. For those of you who are interested, you need to let me know. It's a link I have to send you because it's an invitation only mastermind. But let me back up. What I realized goes on in all of our lives, including mine, good morning, is that we play it safe too much, too often, and we hide it behind all these statements. And we know this story, right? We've heard it before. I'm not telling you anything new, but we're hiding behind, well, that didn't work before, so I'm not going to try it now. Or, oh, I'm too old. Or, oh, I have too many things going on. Stop, stop, stop. I really, really think that each time you are not progressing in your business, in your small business, it's because somewhere you've told yourself a story about being safe. That if I do just this, I'll be safe. There are so many things we can put at risk every day in our life. We put our feelings at risk. We put our body at risk, maybe depending on the job we have. We put our emotional boundaries at risk every day. But the challenge with building a small business is to understand that you can't be safe. Safe is what we will look for our kids so that we know that they can stay healthy and they can come home and not be bothered and troubled. And safe is a space that we want to show everybody they can have. It's essential. But then we have to show them, how do you take risk? So my question to you today is, how safe are you being and what is it costing you? Is it costing you too much money? So let me nut this down into sales, because this is what I do best, and not always with, okay, I got to go out and make a sale today. If I do that, my gosh, I just wind myself up into a screw and it's just like I'm too tight. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Sales only works when I'm relaxed. Maybe different for you. But someone the other day, they said, well, what are your credentials? And I laughed. And I thought, well, you don't really want to know all of my credentials, but I'll tell you some of them. So after over 35 years in sales, if I were doing an average of 10 sales calls a day, which I have done, that puts me at over 130,000 sales calls. Now, that isn't all the times I went to a networking meeting, or I went to an event, or I was a speaker, or I was a trainer in front of an audience. Because each time so you could probably double that number. So let's say I've had 250,000 selling experiences, and that's probably not even it. You know why? Because each time I'm selling myself. This is all we have to sell right here. And when we learn to sell this, then when we represent a product, people are buying our authenticity. They're buying our experience. They're buying our knowledge. And somehow or other, they've learned to trust us. So, a lot of people get hung up and they say, oh, I can't sell. Yes, you can. If you've got a husband, a boyfriend, a spouse, you've got kids, people like you, you've sold. You've sold, all right? So now you have to look at, so why am I being safe? What is safe? Where did this safe thing start? So yeah, we've all had bad experiences. I can remember experiences. I remember the times I hid behind my mother because I was shy and I didn't want to be introduced. But I was young. So I remember the times when I would be afraid to do something and my mom would poke me a little bit here and a little bit here until we find out that what's in my head wasn't serving me really, really well. And so then I would take the risk. Now, did I feel awkward? Oh my gosh, yes. Did I feel awkward the first time I had to get up in first grade and read a story in front of the room? Uh-huh. But that doesn't stop me from getting in front of a crowd of people now and talking or presenting or doing what needs to be done. Every time we can show up for ourselves and show people who we are making sales. We are making sales because people remember us. People want to come back and go with us. And so it's just that easy. So I run a sales mastermind on Thursdays where we look at human behavior. How do people identify themselves to us? And then we know how to build rapport with that person in their style and in the way they like to be communicated with. Now, I'm not going to try to give you any more details on that, but we had a fascinating discussion yesterday just on one particular process that can occur when a customer presents us with their issue. And it was a fascinating discussion that we had. So I want you to say Thursday or sales mastermind in comments, and I will get you that information because it's an invitation only, no cost mastermind, but you got to come ready to play. So that means it's a Zoom, it's live, it's interactive, it's functional. And this is the only way I really, really, really know how to share sales with other people, because otherwise every sales book you read out there, it's concept, it's strategy, but it does not bring in the flavor of the person in the flesh that you're dealing with. And that's what we're going to talk about, is the reality of a selling situation. They shift. Yeah. And so you have to be flexible. So let's go back to that experience when somebody asked me the other day, how many sales presentations have I made? Well, when I set up probably 130,000 over 35 years, like I just told you, it's probably more like 250,000. I've done a lot of things. And when I'm interacting with 20 and 30 people a day, I'm not counting always the number of sales, but I'm looking at the interactions. So yes, I have seasoning when it comes to talking with people, not to. And this is one of the other things about sales. You'll have to understand this is a with proposition, not a to proposition. So if you want to understand what the being with people will do for you and your bottom line, then you really want to join us in this mastermind. So let's just give another different example here that works for me. I was trying to think, I'm a big reader, right? So when I get a book, I really like to keep that book. There's something about books on the shelf that make me feel like I'm connected to all the knowledge of the world. But if you take every selling experience you've ever had, those are like books on the shelf. Each one of those was an experience. And each time you have a selling experience, you want to come back and assess what worked, what seemed to do well, and then what might I try differently next time? Because that's how you grow your sales skill. So I have clients that I show how to do that. We work in a mentor situation for weeks on end until they get comfortable and produce new results. This is what I have been designed to do. And I realize that sometimes I'm always trying to find something else to do. But this is my strength, my asset, is to coach one-on-one sales and help people see a difference. Because usually it's partly they don't understand human behavior. Partly the listening skill is very, very limited. When we don't know how to get rid of the conversations in our head, and this is serious, if you don't know how to get rid of the conversation in your head when you're engaged with somebody else, then you really probably won't make a sale. Because what you're doing is you're over anticipating, or the agenda is your need. When you're working with a customer, the agenda is always theirs. And you play into that agenda. And a salesperson who can play into the agenda of the other person and determine very, very quickly, is there a possibility of an outcome or no? Then you play it accordingly, but you always end up with a relationship. And the relationship is what will work over time to either bring you referrals or potential new sales. So I know I'm being very, very brief here today, and I don't even know if I said anything that hooked you. But what I want you to know is most of you are playing it safe when it comes to sales. And I'm challenging you on what you feel is safe or you couldn't do, you wouldn't do. That is BS. And I'm calling you out. And I'm telling you, you want to be in my Thirsty Mastermind because I'm gentle, but I'm informative. And you're going to meet other people who have been playing it safe and they're ready to not be safe anymore. And the best I can do is offer you that mastermind to get you out of your safe and then decide, are you really, really, really going to build a business that requires intense sales skills and see what your new results are in 2022? So again, I'm Marla Copal. Get me at successwithmarla.com for my newsletters. I have some other offers out there if you're still just sensitive and you want to stay out there. But seriously, you just need to say mastermind in the comments and let's get connected in a way that will show you what you haven't thought of, what you're missing, and how you're playing it safe. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.